Hey everyone, this is Moji. How are things going? The roll up for Bitcoin was just done. That was just announced. And it's something really cool. I want to explain what I mean by that. There's also news that the Bitcoin ETF has taken in a lot of Bitcoin. As I said in my video last night, we also need to talk about Tesla. They did move a lot of Bitcoin and a lot of whales are moving around. If you don't mind, please click subscribe and bell below the video to be notified of more videos like this. You can see that Bitcoin is breaking out a little. When you zoom in, you can see that this line has turned us down twice, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. And now we're finally evil above it. There was one other time when we were just above it, but just now we went all the way up to 68,400. At this point, 68,400, we were actually turned down. This is pretty much the previous all-time high at 69,000. It would be great to see a break above 70,000, which was the last high point that this line refused. However, this is still very strong as you can see. Please wait a little while longer. More lows, more highs, more lows, more highs, more highs, more highs, more highs. All of these price changes are very strong. There is a link to Mardex under the film if you want to trade in this market. As I already said, I don't want to brag too much, but I was saying the whole time we were down here that now is the time to make long deals. When we're in this area, maybe a little less aggressive. Around 60,000, but they get really active when we hit new lows. All of these have worked out great so far. There is a link to Mardex below the video if you want to trade. You have the chance to get in right before this breakout. Of course, we can always be turned down. Yes, that did happen yesterday. Hey, you can still get in before we break above this line, I told them. But we might have some rough seas just like yesterday when we went up to the line and then go back up and then split right down. Be ready for anything. Get ready for the changes. Tell me what you're drinking now. It's water and coffee for me here. However, please tell me what you're drinking in the space below. Let's begin here. Quickly, watch out for scams. I'm getting more texts like this. I hope this email finds you well. I just now found your address, your email address on YouTube. This person I call Sam and I have been talking on TikTok, WhatsApp and Telegram. I'm not going to contact you ever. They are con artists. People ask why you don't clean these up. Because every video has a lot of them. I can't get rid of them fast enough. At one point it's just like an IQ test. That kind of stuff is off limits. There are also fake movies. Things that look sketchy really are sketchy. I'm not going to. Deep fake channels are channels that take the beginning of a movie and change it around. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this. So watch out for all of that. I'm even in a group that had coin drained this week. Really, stay alert, even if you think you know everything, because things can still happen. Okay, take a look at this. So a lot of shorts are being sold. That's what happens when you go up, down and back up again. There is a lot of instability, which is good for the market. People love changes. It's good for Bitcoin, but not everyone does it. So people who run big trading firms want volatility. That's the way you lose points. Bitcoin's popularity reached a new all-time high this year. We haven't been this high since the altcoin rise began in 2021, as you can see. That really shows how big that move was in 2021 when alt first began to pump. Bitcoin's share dropped from 63% to 40%. That's really big. That was just over a month or a month and a half. We've now reached 58.8. Benjamin Cohen says that he'd like Bitcoin to have about 60% of the market share. After that, he'll let it fall again. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened. I have always said that I believe 57% to 60% is a good range for us to fall back down. At that point, money will also start to print itself. Around this time, the market will start to deal with money again. The world's cash flow will improve. Indeed, I believe we will soon reach the top of this area. Just make sure you read up on that on your own. But it's clear that we can only have so much money. So the question is always, should I buy Bitcoin or something more dangerous? And it's fun to be altcoin season. Just so you know, during that time, Bitcoin can still go up. And it wouldn't surprise me if Bitcoin became the most popular, this bull market did pretty well or Bitcoin still did pretty well because we're seeing huge amounts from these ETFs. GBTC had a good day with 8 million. BlackRock had a $291 million day, ARKB had a $15 million day, and FBTC had a $35 million day. It reminds me of a time in January or February, or maybe even March, when we had a lot of money coming in. BlackRock and Fidelity seemed to have inflows on different days. It looked like they were taking trades. They both didn't want the same $300 million day because it would make the price of Bitcoin go up too quickly. So it looked like they had agreed ahead of time for big money to come into BlackRock, then Fidelity, and then BlackRock again the next day. That's what we've seen lately. There have been times when both brought in a good amount of money, but Fidelity only has $35 million while TD has $300 million. That's pretty cool. We got $371 million in new money. So Redo, $5,553 worth of Bitcoin was bought. That's crazy. Okay, so just to be clear, $253 million, $555 million, and then $371 million have come in. If I'm doing the math right, it's more than $1 billion or about $1.15 billion during the last 3 business days. The price goes up because of that. When more than $1 billion is taken out of the market in 3 days, the price goes through the roof. Also, financial tools are getting better, and I'd say there are more complicated ways to trade Bitcoin and options contracts. I believe it was last week that I told you about how Metaplanet bought and sold puts. In essence, they said, hey, we'll buy Bitcoin at, I think it was 62,000, we'll buy a Bitcoin for more than $62,000. But you have to pay us extra. After getting that bonus, they bought Bitcoin. I can't remember the exact amount. I think it was about 20%. That is, for every $100 they said they would buy in Bitcoin, they got $20 in cash. Again, I might be a little off, but that's pretty much what happened. Now they set up a roll-up of 223 contracts of $62,000 put options that will expire on 12/27/24. Why would they do this then? To put it simply, it costs more to buy a put at 66,000 than at 62,000. In this case, Metaplanet, which is selling the puts, gains more money. They were able to make more money and get 5.9 Bitcoin in return. Just to let you know, we'll buy at 66,000 or less instead of 62,000. We believe it will rise. I should say roll that back, but we're going to do it anyway. We'll also take 5.9 Bitcoin. That's really cool. I mean, these are the kinds of things that can happen in the world of options, but they can also happen in the world of Bitcoin. For being a little more bold and ready to buy Bitcoin at a certain price, they just made a ton of Bitcoin. Let's say I asked you to buy Bitcoin for $60,000, even if it went down a little in the next 2 months. I would pay you 15%. I think a lot of people would say, okay, I'm going to buy blockchain. Okay, I'll do that. The 15% goes to them. They can get more Bitcoin. That's enough for them to live on. It's cool that we'll be able to do that when Bitcoin ETFs become available.